Hello, and welcome to the premiere of Shakespearean Youth Theatre's audio production of The Winter's Tale, performed by the 2021 Corps Ensemble. I'm Logan Verdorn. I'm the artistic director at Shakespearean Youth Theatre. I also directed this production. Now, we'll get the show started at 7 p.m., but before that, I wanted to take this opportunity to share with all of you, our amazing community and audience members, our plans for the upcoming year, and the fantastic lineup of plays I've selected to make up our 18th season. First, I am absolutely thrilled, and not the least bit relieved, to announce to you that starting this fall, SYT will be returning to the stage for a full season of productions and educational programming live and in person. So, on behalf of myself and the entire SYT staff and board, thank you. Thank you. We were lucky enough to be able to sustain, and not only sustain, but grow through this pandemic. And that is because of the support and love and care that you showed as a community. We are so grateful. So thank you. And with that, now, I am delighted to announce what those in-person, live, on-the-stage productions will be. SYT's Season 18 will feature 3 main stage productions with 3 different directors. Kicking us off in the fall with the Fall Ensemble will be Shakespeare's comedy, As You Like It, directed by Lucas Brazier-Fons. Performances in November. Following that will be our new program, the Spring Ensemble, which will be performing The Tragedy of Macbeth, directed by Maria Signorelli. And finally, SYT's 2022 Corps Ensemble will be performing in the summer, Julius Caesar, directed by myself. I am so excited to share with you these stories and to welcome you all back to the theater. Before we do, however, commence our triumphant return to the stage, we do have 2 more audio dramas still in the works right now, and I encourage you to check them out. First, we've got Romeo and Juliet, which just started rehearsals this last week, as well as we'll be finishing off season 17 with Much Ado About Nothing, which will be, I do hope, our final audio production, at least for a little while. Now, I promise, very soon, I will stop gabbing at you and we will get on with the show. But before that, I would be remiss if I didn't extend a huge thank you to our individual donors who truly do make SYT a reality. And also mention that you out there watching can also become an SYT individual donor. We will put a link down in the description below, but also there you can check out our website at sytmn.org to make a donation at any time. SYT offers this production and all productions that will end up on the Dream Project website completely free of charge to anyone and everyone who wants to partake. And we very much want to keep it that way. So if you do feel so called upon and are in a position to do so, we would greatly appreciate you donating the price of a ticket and taking the time to do so. There's a link down below, like I said, or you can check it out on our website. Finally, The Winter's Tale will be up on the Dream Project website starting next week. Look out for information from us. It is a truly excellent resource if you want to dive deeper into the play, if you want to understand it through the perspective of the young artists, or if you just want to read along while you're listening. It is an excellent, excellent resource. You'll see some of that in the YouTube premiere in a moment. You'll see the scroll along script, but there's also so much more interactivity, and I encourage you to check it out. It is truly, truly one of a kind. Thank you so much. Please enjoy The Winter's Tale. " 'Tis 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 '
Shakespearean Youth Theatre presents The Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare, performed by the actors of the 2021 Corps Ensemble. It shall be fickle, false, and full of fraud, when we have seen the hungry ocean gain. It shall not fear where it should most mistrust, when we have seen the storm in lovers' veins. Pray you, sit by me and tell us a tale.
Merry or sad shall it be?
As merry as you will. It shall be merciful and too severe, when we have seen by time's hand defaced love's pleasure shall not match this woe.
A sad tale's best for winter. I've one of sprites and goblins.
Let's have that, good sir.
There was a man.
Nine changes of the watery star hath been the shepherd's note since we have left our throne without a burden. Time as long again should be filled up, my brother, with our thanks, and yet we should in perpetuity go hence away in debt.
Say your thanks a while, and pay them when you part.
Sir, that's tomorrow. I am questioned by my fears of what may chance or breed upon my absence. Besides, I have stayed to tire your royalty.
We're tougher, brother, than you can put us to it.
No longer stay.
1 7 night longer.
Very sooth tomorrow.
We'll part the time between us then, and in that I'll no gainsaying.
Press me not, beseech you so. There is no tongue that moves, none in the world so soon as yours could win me. My affairs do even drag me homeward, which to hinder were in your love a whip to me, my stay to you a charge and trouble. To save both, farewell, my brother.
Tongue-tied our queen? Speak you.
Well, I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you had drawn oaths from him not to stay. You, sir, charge him too coldly. Tell him you're sure all in Bohemia's well. Say this to him, he's beat from his best ward.
Well said, Hermione.
To tell he longs to see his son were strong. But let him say so then and let him go. But let him swear so, and he shall not stay. We'll thwack him hence with distaffs. Yet, of your royal presence, I'll adventure the borrow of a week. When in Bohemia you take my lord, I'll give him my commission to let him there a month behind the date prefixed for his parting. Yet, good deed Leontes, I love thee not ajar the clock behind what lady she her lord. You'll stay?
No, madam.
Nay, but you will.
I may not, verily.
Verily, you put me off with limber vows, but I should yet say, sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as potent as a lord's. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you like a prisoner, not like a guest, so you shall pay your fees when you depart and save your thanks. What say you, my prisoner or my guest? By your dread verily, one of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam. To be your prisoner should import offending, which is for me less easy to commit than you to punish.
Not your jailer, then, but your kind hostess. Come, I'll question you of my lord's tricks and yours when you were boys. You were pretty lordlings then.
We were, fair queen, 2 lads who thought there was no more behind but such a day tomorrow as today, and to be boy eternal.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the 2?
We were as twinned lambs that did frisk in the sun and bleat the one at the other. What we changed was innocence for innocence. We knew not the doctrine of ill-doing, nor dreamt that any did. Had we pursued that life, and our weak spirits ne'er been higher reared with stronger blood, we should have answered heaven boldly, not guilty, the imposition cleared, hereditary ours.
By this we gather you have slipped since.
Oh, my most gracious lady, temptations have since then been born to us. For in those unfledged days was my wife a girl, and your precious self had not then crossed the eyes of my young playfellow.
Grace to boot. Of this make no conclusion, lest you say your queen and I are devils. Yet, go on. Of the offenses we've made you do, we'll answer. If you first sinned with us, and that with us you did continue fault, and that you slipped not with any, but with us.
Is he one yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
On my request, he would not. Hermione, my dearest, now never spokes to better purpose.
Never.
Never but once.
What? Have I twice said well? When was the first? I prithee let me have it.
Why, that was when 3 crabbed months had soured themselves to death, ere I could make thee open thy true hand and clap thyself my love. Then didst thou utter, I am yours forever.
'Tis grace indeed. Why, look you now, I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one forever earned a royal husband, the other, for some while, a friend. Not your jailer, then, but your kind.
Too hot to mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. I have tremor cordis on me. My heart dances, but not for joy. Not joy. This entertainment may a free face put on, derive a liberty from heartiness, from bounty, fertile bosom, and well become the agent. It may, I grant. Oh, but to be paddling palms and pinching fingers as now they are, and making practice smiles as in a looking glass, oh, that is entertainment my bosom likes not, nor my brows. Mamilius, art thou my boy?
Aye, my good lord.
Good faith. Why, that's my bawcock. What? Hast smutched thy nose? Come, Captain. We must be neat. Not neat, but cleanly, Captain, and yet the steer, the heifer, and the calf are all called neat. Still virgining upon his palm. How now, you wanton calf? Art thou my calf?
Yes, father, if you will.
Oh, now what's the rough chin and the shoots that I have to be full like me? Yet they say we are almost as like as eggs. Women say so. That will say anything. Oh, may it be. Affection, thy intention stabs the center thou dost to make possible things not so held. Communicates with dreams what's unreal. Be.
What means Cecilia?
Something seems unsettled.
How now, my lord, what cheer? How is it with you, best brother?
You look as if you held a brow of much distraction. Are you moved, my lord?
No, in good earnest. Looking at the lines of my boy's face, methought I did recoil 23 years, and saw myself unbreeched in my green velvet coat, my dagger muscle, lest it should bite its master, and so prove, as ornaments oft do, too dangerous. Oh, like, methought I then was this colonel, this squash, this gentleman. Mine honest friend, will you take eggs for money?
No, my lord, I'll fight.
You will! My happy man, be his dole! Mine honest friend, are you so fond of your young prince as we do seem to be of ours?
When at home, young Florizel is all my mirth, my matter. Now my sworn friend, and then mine enemy, my parasite, my soldier, statesman, all. He makes a July's day as short as December, and with his varying childness cures in me thoughts that would thick my blood.
So sends this squire office with me. We two will walk, my lord, and leave you to your graver steps. Hermione, how thou lovest us, show in our brothers welcome. Let what is dear in Sicily be cheap. Next to thyself and my young rover, he's a parent to my heart.
If you would seek us, we are yours in the garden. Shall attend you there?
To your own bents dispose you. You'll be found, view beneath the sky. I am angling now, do you perceive me not? How I give line. Go to, gone already. Inch thick, knee deep, or head and ears a forked one. Go, play, boy, play. Thy mother plays, and I play too, but so disgrace the part whose issue will hiss me to my grave. Contempt and clamor will be my knell.
Father!
Go, play, boy, play! There have been, or I am much deceived, cuckolds ere now, and many a man there is, even at this present now, while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm that little thinks she has been sluiced in his absence, and his pond fished by his next neighbor, by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Nay, there's comfort in it, whilst other men have gates, and those gates open, as mine, against their will, should all despair, that have revolted wives, 1/10 of mankind would hang themselves. Physic for it, there's none. It is a body planet that will strike where 'tis predominant and 'tis powerful. Think it. From east, west, north, and south, be it concluded. No barricado for a belly. Know it. It will let in and out the enemy with bag and baggage. Many thousands of us have the disease and feel't not. How now, boys?
I'm like you, they say.
That's some comfort. What, Camilla there?
Aye, my good lord.
Go play! Mamilius, thou art an honest man. Camilla, as our guest, will yet stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, it still came home.
Didst note it?
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me already, whispering, prattling loyalties as a so forth. 'Tis far gone when I shall know it last. How came it, Camilla, that he did stay?
At the good queen's entreaty.
At the queen's, be it. Good should be pertinent, but so it is not. Was this taken by any understanding pate but thine? For thy conceit is soaking, will draw in more than the common blocks. Not noted, is it?
My lord, I think most understand Polixenes stays here longer.
Huh?
Stays here longer?
I? But why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy! Entreaties of a mistress, satisfy! That suffice! I've trusted thee, Camilla, with all the nearest things to my heart, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom. But I have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seemed so.
Be it forbid, my lord.
To bite upon't, thou art not honest, or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, or else thou must be counted but a servant grafted in my serious trust and therein negligent, or else a fool, and takes it all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these no man is free. But good my lord, I do beseech your grace be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by its own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
Have you not seen, Camillo? That's passed out. You have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a cuckold's horn, or heard, or thought. My wife is slippery.
Beshrew my heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate were sin as deep as that, were it true.
Whispering nothing, is leaning cheek to cheek, is meeting noses, kissing with inside lip, stopping the career of laughter with a sigh, a noting infallible of breaking honesty, horsing foot on foot, skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind with the pin and web, but dares only that would unseen be wicked. Is this nothing? Why then the world and all that's in is nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia, nothing. My wife is nothing, nor nothing have these nothings if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes, for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be, 'tis true.
No, my lord.
It is. You lie. You lie. I say, thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Pronounce thee a gross lout. Were my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like her medal hanging about his neck. Polixenes, whom, if I had servants true about me, they would do that which should undo more doing. I, and thou his cupbearer, thou mightst bespice a cup to give mine enemy a lasting wink.
Sir, my lord, I could do this with some malicious dram of poison. Oh, but good my lord, I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress, so sovereignly being honorable. I have loved thee.
Make that thy question and go rot! Dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled to appoint myself in this vexation, sully the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps, give scandal to the blood of the prince, my son, whom I do think is mine, and love as mine, without right moving to it? Could I do this? Would man so let?
I must believe you, sir. I do, and will fetch off Bohemia for it, provided that when he's removed, your highness will take again your queen as yours at first, even for your son's sake.
Thou dost advise me, even so as I mine own course have thus set down. I'll give no blemish to her honor, none.
My lord, go then, and with countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Bohemia and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, and thou hast the one half of mine heart. Do it not, and thou splitst thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly, as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady. But for me, what case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes, and my ground to do it is obedience to a master, one who in rebellion with himself will have all that are his, so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. To do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now. Here comes Bohemia.
This is strange. Methinks my favor here begins to warp, not speak. Good day, Camillo.
Hail, most royal sir.
What is the news in the court?
None rare, my lord.
The king hath on him such a countenance as he had lost some province or a region loved as he loves himself. Even now I met with him with customary compliment, and he, wafting his eyes to the contrary, and falling a lip of much contempt, speeds from me and leaves me to consider what is breeding that changes thus his manners.
I dare not know, my lord.
How dare not? Do not? Do you know and dare not? Be intelligent to me. Good Camillo, your changed complexions are to me a mirror which show me mine changed too. For I must be a party in this alteration, finding myself thus altered with it.
There is a sickness which puts some of us in distemper, but I cannot name the disease, and it is caught of you that yet are well.
How caught of me? Camillo, make me not sighted like the basilisk, as you are certainly a gentleman. I beseech you, if you know aught which does behoove my knowledge thereof to be informed, imprison it not in ignorant concealment.
I may not answer.
A sickness caught of me, and yet I well. I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? I conjure thee that thou declare what incidency thou guess of harm is creeping towards me. How far off? How near?
Sir, I will tell you, since I am charged in honor, and by him that I think honorable.
On, Camillo.
I am appointed by him to murder you.
By whom, Camillo?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, nay, with all confidence he swears, as he had seen it or been an instrument to vice you to it, that you have touched his queen. Forbiddenly.
Why, then my best blood be turned to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best.
You may as well forbid the sea for to obey the moon, as to remove or shake the fabric of his folly, whose foundation is piled upon his faith.
How should this grow?
I know not, but I am sure 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than to question how 'tis born. If, therefore, you dare trust my honesty, away tonight. Your followers all whisper, and will by twos and threes at several posterns clear them of the city. For myself, I'll put my fortunes to your service, which are here by this discovery lost. Be not uncertain, for by the honor of my parents I have uttered truth, which if you seek to prove, I dare not stand by. Nor shall you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth, there on his execution sworn.
I do believe thee. I saw his heart in his face. My ships are ready. My people did expect my hence departure 2 days ago. Oh, this jealousy is for a precious creature. As she's rare, must it be great? As his person's mighty, must it be violent? And as he does conceive, he is dishonored by a man which ever professed to him. Why, then his revenges must in that be made the more bitter. Fear o'ershades me. Be pilot to me,
Please,
and
your highness, to take the urgent hour. Come, sir, away.
My gracious lord, shall I be your playfellow?
No, I'll none of you.
Why, my sweet lord?
You'll kiss me hard and speak to me as if I were a baby still. I love you better.
And why so, my lord?
Not for because your brows are blacker, yet black brows, they say, become some women best.
Who taught you this?
I learned to have women's faces. Pray now, what color are your eyebrows?
Blue, my boy.
Nay, that is a mock. I've seen a lady's nose that has been blue, but not her eyebrows.
Hark thee! The queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days. Then you would play with us if we would have you.
She is grown of late into a goodly bulk. Come on, sit down, Mamilius, and do your best to fright me with your sprites. You're powerful at it.
There was a woman, a queen. There were 2 men, both kings.
Was he met there? His train, Camilla with him.
Behind the tuft of pines I met them. Never saw I men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
Bless them I in my just censure, in my true opinion. Alack, for lesser knowledge, how accursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, depart, and yet partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. But if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye, make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. There's a plot against my life, my crown, all's true. That is mistrusted, that false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. design, and I remain a pinched thing. Yea, a very trick for them to play at will. How came the postern so easily open?
By his great authority, which often hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know it too well. Give me the boy!
Ow! Wait.
My liege.
I am glad you did not nurse him to eat his bear. Some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this, sport?
Bear the boy hence, he shall not come about her. Away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with, for 'tis Polixenes has made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he had not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying. How are you lean to the nayward?
You, my lords, look on her, mark her well, be but about to say she is a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts will dare to add, 'tis pity she's not honest, and be it known from him that has most cause to grieve it should be, she's an adulteress!
You, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook my lady Polixenes for Leontes. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom more. She's a traitor, and Camillo is a traitor along with her. One that knows what she should shame to know herself, but with her most vile principle that she's a bed swerver. I am privy to dis their late escape.
No, by my life, privy to none of this. How will this grieve you when you shall come to clearer knowledge that you have thus published me? Gentle my lord, you scarce can write me thoroughly then to say you did mistake.
Away with her to prison.
My lord, please no.
He who shall speak for her is a far off guilty, but that he speaks.
There's some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping, the want of which vain dew perchance shall dry your pities. But I have that honorable grief, lodged here, which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified as your charity shall best instruct you, measure me, and so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is it that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you see my pregnancy requires it, my lord. Weep not, good fools. When you do know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I now go on is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall. My women come, you have leave.
Go, do our bidding, hence.
Here, madam, by your leave.
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence, in the which 3 great ones suffer, yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do it, sir, please you to accept it, that the queen is spotless in this which you accuse her.
If it proves she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her. For every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false, if she be.
Hold your peaces.
Good, my lord.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves. You are abused, and by some putter on that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain, I would lambast him. If she be honor flawed, I have 3 daughters. The eldest is 11, the second and the third 9, and some 5. If this prove true, they'll pay for.
Cease no more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as the dead man's nose, but I do see it and feel it as you feel doing dust.
If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it. The face to sweeten of the whole dingy earth.
What? Lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground. And more it would content me to have her honor true than your suspicion.
Why, what need we commune with you of this?
I wish, my liege, you had only in your silent judgment tried it without such overture.
Camillo's flight, added to their familiarity, doth push on this proceeding, yet For a greater confirmation, I have dispatched in post the sacred Delphos to Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know to be full credible. Now, from the oracle, they will bring all whose spiritual counsel shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Though I am satisfied, need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good that from our free person she should be confined, lest that the treachery of the two fled hence be left her to perform. Come follow us. We are to speak in public, for this business will raise us all.
To laughter, as I take it. If the good truth were known.
The keeper of the prison, call to him. Let him acknowledge who I am.
Madam, I will.
Now, good sir, you know me, do you not?
For a worthy lady, and one whom much I honor.
I pray you, conduct me to the queen.
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have express commandment.
Here's it too, to lock up honesty and honor from the access of gentle visitors. Is it lawful, pray you, to see her women? Any of them? Amelia?
So please you, madam, I shall bring Amelia forth.
I pray now, call her.
And, madam, I must be present at your conference.
Well, be it so. Prithee. Oh, good lady, no court in Europe is too good for thee. What dost thou then in prison? Dear gentlewoman, how fares our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together. On her frights and griefs, which never tender lady hath borne greater, she is, something before her time, delivered
a boy,
a daughter, and a goodly babe, lusty and like to live. The queen receives much comfort in it, says, my poor prisoner, I am innocent as you.
I dare be sworn. These dangerous, unsafe loons in the king, beshrew them. He must be told, and shall. Pray you, Amelia, commend my best obedience to the queen. If she dares trust me with her little babe, I'll show it to the king, and undertake to be her advocate in the loudest. We do not know how he may soften at the sight of the child. The silence often of pure innocence persuades when speaking fails.
Oh, most worthy madam, your honor and your goodness are so evident that your free undertaking cannot miss a thriving issue. There is no lady living so fit for this great errand. Please your ladyship to wait in the next room. I'll presently acquaint the queen of your most noble offer.
Tell her, Amelia, I'll use that tongue I have. If wit flow from it as boldness from my bosom, let it not be doubted, I shall do good.
Now be you blessed for it. I'll to the queen.
Madam, if it please the queen to send the babe, I know not what I shall incur to allow it, having no warrant.
You need not fear it. This child was prisoner to the womb, and is by law and process of great nature thence freed and enfranchised. Not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if any be, the trespass of the queen.
I do believe it.
Do not you fear. Upon mine honor, I will stand betwixt you and danger.
Nor night, nor day, no rest, it is but weakness to bear the matter thus, mere weakness, but she, the adulteress, say that she were gone, given to the fire and moiety of my rest, might come to me again. Who's there?
My lord.
How does the boy?
He took good rest tonight. 'Tis hoped his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness conceiving the dishonor of his mother, he straight declined, drooped, took it deeply, fastened and fixed, ashamed in himself, threw off his spirit, his appetite, his sleep, and downright languished. Leave me solely? Go, see how he fares. Fie! No thought of him. The The very thought of my revenges that way recoil upon me in himself, too mighty, and in his parties, his alliance. Let him be until a time may serve. Polixenes laughs at me, makes his pastime at my sorrow.
Let me...
You must not enter.
Nay, rather good, my lords, be second to me. Fear you his tyrannous passion more, alas, than the queen's life? A gracious, innocent soul, more free than he is jealous.
That's enough, madam. He hath not slept tonight. Commanded none shall come at him.
Not so hot, good sir. I come to bring him sleep. 'Tis such as you that creep like shadows by him, and do sigh at each his needless heavings. Such as you nourish the cause of his awaking. I do come with words as medicinal, as true, honest as either, to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
Who noise there? Oh!
No noise, but needful conference about some gossips for your highness.
How? Away with that audacious lady! Antigonus, I charged thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would!
I told her so, my lord, on your displeasure's peril, and on mine she should not visit you.
What? Canst not rule her?
Good, my liege, I come. And I beseech you hear me, who professes myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor. Yet that dares less appear so in comforting your evils than such as most seem yours. I say, I come from your good queen.
Good queen?
Good queen, my lord, good queen. I say good queen.
Force her hence!
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. On mine own accord I'll off, but first I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought you forth a daughter. Here it is. Commends it to your blessing.
Out! A mankind witch, hence with her, out a doors, a most intelligencing bawd!
Not so! I'm as ignorant in that as you, and so entitling me, and no less honest than you are mad, which is enough, I'll warrant, as this world goes to pass for honest.
Traitors! Will you not push her out? Give her to bastard! Thou, dotard, thou art woman-tired, take up the bastard! Take it up! I say, give it to thy throne.
Forever unvenerable be thy hands if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put upon it.
He dreads his wife.
So I would you did. Then 'twere past all doubt you'd call your children yours.
A nest of traitors!
I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any but one that's here, and that's himself. For he, the sacred honor of himself, his hopeful sons, his queens, his babes, betrays to slander, whose sting is sharper than the swords. And will not, for as the case now stands, it is a curse he cannot be compelled to it. Once remove the root of his opinion, which is rotten as ever oak or stone was sound.
Coward of boundless tongue, who late hath beat her husband and now baits me. This brat is none of mine. It is the issue of Polixenes. Hence with it, and together with the dame, commit them to the fire.
It is yours. And might we lay the old proverb to your charge? Behold, my lords, although the print be little, the whole matter and copy of the father, eyes, nose, lip, the trick of his frown, his forehead, nay, the valley, the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles, the very mold and frame of hand, nail, finger.
A gross hag, and Lozel, thou art worthy to be hanged that wilt not stay her tongue.
Hang all the husbands that cannot do that feat, you'll leave yourself hardly one subject.
Once more, force her hence.
A most unworthy, unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt.
I care not. It is a heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns in it. I'll not call you a tyrant. But this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fancy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world.
On your allegiance, out of the chamber with her. Were I a tyrant, where were her life? She durst not call me so, if she did know me one. Away with her!
I pray you do not push me! I'll be gone. Look to your babe, 'tis yours. Jove send her a better guiding spirit. What needs these hands?
You that art thus so tender o'er his follies will never do him good, not one of you. So, farewell. We are gone.
Thou, traitor, hast set on thy wife to this, my child. Away with it, even thou, that hast a heart so tender o'er it, take it up straight, and see it instantly consumed with fire. Even thou, and none but thou, for thou setst on thy wife.
I did not, my lord. Rogero, my noble fellow, if he please, can clear me in.
I can. My royal liege, he is not guilty of her coming hither.
You liars all!
Beseech your highness give us better credit. We have always truly served you, and beseech so to esteem of us. And on our knees we beg, as recompense of our dear services past and to come, that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on to some foul issue. We all kneel.
I am a fetter for each wind that blows. Shall I live on to see this bastard kneel and call me fodder? I better burn it now than curse it then. But be it! Let it live! It shall not neither. You, sir, come you hither. Say what, Antigonus, will you adventure to save this brat's life?
Anything that my ability may undergo and nobleness impose, at least thus much. I'll pawn the little blood which I have left to save the innocent. Anything possible.
It shall be possible. Swear by this soul thou wilt perform my bidding.
I will, my lord.
Mark and perform it. Seest thou, for the fail of any pointant shall not only be deaf to thyself, but to thy lewd-tongued wife, whom for this time we pardon. We enjoin thee, as thou art liegeman to us, that thou carry this female bastard hence, that thou bear it to some remote and desert place, and that there thou leave it, where chance may nurse or end it.
I swear to do this, though a present death had been more merciful. Come, poor babe. Some powerful spirit instruct the hawks and ravens to be thy nurses. Wolves and bears, they say, casting their savageness aside, have done like offices of pity. Sir, be prosperous in more than is deserved, and blessing against this cruelty, fight on thy side, poor thing, condemned to loss.
No, I'll not rear another's issue.
Please, your highness, post from those you sent to the oracle are come an hour since. Cleomenes and Dion, being well arrived from Delphos, are both landed, hasting to the court.
So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond account.
23 days they have been absent. 'Tis good speed, foretells the great Apollo suddenly will have the truth of this appear. Prepare you, lords! Summon a session that we may arraign our most disloyal lady, for, as she hath been publicly accused, so shall she have a just and open trial. While she lives, my heart will be a burden to me. Leave me, and think upon my bidding.
The climate's delicate, the air most sweet, fertile the isle, the temple much surpassing the common praise affairs.
I shall report, for most it caught me, the celestial habits, methinks I should so term them, and the reverence of the grave wearers. Oh, the sacrifice. Oh, ceremonious solemn and unearthly it was in the offering.
But of all, the burst and ear-deafening voice of the oracle, kin to love's thunder, so surprised my sense that I was nothing.
The events of the journey prove as success to the queen. Oh, be it so, as it hath been to us, rare, pleasant, speedy. Time is worth the use on it.
Great Apollo, turn all to the best. These proclamations so forcing faults upon Hermione I little like.
The violent carriage of it will clear or end the business. When the oracle, thus by Apollo's great divine, sealed up, shall the contents discover something rare, even then will rush to knowledge.
concessions, to our great grief, we pronounce even pushes against our heart. The party tried, the daughter of a king, our wife and one of us too much beloved. Let us be cleared of being tyrannous, since we so openly proceed in justice, which shall have due course even to the guilt or to purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness' pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court. Silence! Hermione, Queen to the worthy Leontes, King of Sicilia, thou art here accused and arraigned of high treason in committing adultery with Polixenes, King of Bohemia, and conspiring with Camillo to take away the life of our sovereign lord the king, thy royal husband. Pretenses whereof, being by circumstances partly laid open, thou, Hermione, contrary to the faith and allegiance of a true subject, didst counsel and aid them to fly away for their better safety by night.
Since what I am to say must be but that which contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say not guilty. Mine integrity being counted falsehood shall, as I express it, be so received. But thus, if powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then, but innocence shall make false accusation blush, and tyranny tremble at patience. You best know whom least will seem to do so. My past life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true as I am now unhappy, which is more than history can pattern, though devised and played to take spectators. For behold me, a fellow of the royal bed, which owe a moiety of the throne, a great king's daughter, the mother to a hopeful prince, here standing to prate and talk for life and honor for those who please to come and hear. For life I prize it as I weigh grief, which I would spare. For honor, 'tis a derivative from me to mine, and only that I stand for. I appeal to your own conscience, sir. Before Polixenes came to your court, how I was in your grace, how merited to be so. Since he came with what encounter so uncurrent, I have strained to appear thus. If one jot beyond the bound of honor, or in act or will that way inclining, hardened be the hearts of all that hear me, and my nearest of kin cry fie upon my grave.
I ne'er heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess I loved him, as in honor he required, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, with a love even such so and no other as yourself commanded, which not to have done I think had been in me both disobedience and ingratitude toward you and toward your friend who love had spoke even since it could speak from an infant freely that it was yours. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camillo was an honest man, and why he left your court, the gods themselves, knowing no more than I, are ignorant.
You knew of his departure as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence.
Sir! You speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you were past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which to deny concerns more than avails. For as thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself, no fodder owning it, which is indeed more criminal indeed than it, so thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threat. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me, life can be no commodity. The very crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost. for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy and first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, Storn, most unluckily, is from my breast the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth, hailed out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet. With immodest hatred, the child-bed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed, but yet hear this, mistake me not. No life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would spare. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof sleeping else, but what your jealousies awake, I tell you, 'tis rigor, and not law. Your honors all I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
This your request is altogether just. Therefore bring forth, and in Apollo's name, his oracle.
You here swear upon this sort of justice that you, Cleomenes and Dion, have been both at Delphos, and that from thence you have brought this sealed-up oracle by the hand delivered of great Apollo's priest, and that since then you have not dared break the holy seal nor read the secrets in it.
All this
we swear.
Break up the seals and read.
Hermione is chaste, Polixenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir, if that which is lost be not found.
Now, blessed be the great Apollo.
Praised.
Hast thou read true?
Aye, even so as it is set down here.
There is no truth at all in the oracle. The sessions shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord, the king!
What is the business?
Oh, sir, I shall be hated to report it. The prince your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's speed, is gone.
How gone?
Is dead.
Apollo's angry, and the heavens themselves do strike at my injustice. How now there?
This news is mortal to the queen. Look down and see what death is doing.
Take her hence. Her heart is but o'ercharged. She will recover. I have too much believed mine own suspicions. Beseech you, tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. I'll reconcile me to Polixenes, new woo my queen, recall the good Camillo, whom I proclaim a man of truth, of mercy, for being transported by my jealousies to bloody thoughts, into revenge. I chose Camillo for the minister to poison my friend Polixenes. How he glisters through my rust, and how his piety does my deeds make the blacker.
Blow the while! Oh, cut my lace, thus my heart, cracking it, break too!
What fit is this, good lady?
What studied torments, tyrant, hast for me? What wheels, racks, fires? What flaying, boiling in leads or oils? What old or newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste of thy most worst? Thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousies. Oh, think what they have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad, for all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayest Polixenes, 'twas nothing, that did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable and grateful. Nor was it much thou wouldst have poisoned good Camillo's honor to have him kill a king. Poor trespasses more monstrous standing by, whereof I reckon the casting forth to crows thy baby daughter,
to be or none, or little, though a devil would have shed water out of fire ere done it. Nor is it directly laid to thee the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts high for one so tender, cleft the heart that could conceive a gross and foolish sire, blemished his gracious dam. This way not, no, laid to thy answer, but the last, O lords, when I have said cry woe, the queen, the sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet!
Powers forbid.
I'll say she's dead! I'll swear it! If word nor oath prevail not, go and see. If you can bring luster or tincture in her lip, her eye, heat outwardly or breath within, I'll serve you as I would do the gods. But, O thou tyrant, do not repent these things, for they are heavier than all thy woes can stir. Therefore betake thee to nothing but despair. 1,000 knees, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a barren mountain, and still winter in storm perpetual could not move the gods to look that way thou wert.
Go on. Thou canst not talk too much. I have deserved all tongues to speak their bitterest.
Say no more. Howe'er the business goes, you have made fault in the boldness of your speech.
I am sorry for it. All faults I make when I shall come to know them, I do repent. Alas, I have shown too much the rashness of a woman. He is touched to the noble heart. What's gone and what's past help should be past grief. Now good, my liege, sir, royal sir, forgive a foolish woman. The love I bore your queen, lo, fool again. I'll speak of her no more, nor of your children. I'll not remember you of my own lord, who is lost too. Take your patience, too, and I'll say nothing.
Thou didst speak but well when most the truth, which I receive much better than to be pitied of thee. Prithee, bring me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both. Upon them shall the causes of their death appear unto our shame perpetual once a day. I'll visit the chamber where they lie in tears shed. There shall be my recreation. So long as nature will bear up with this exercise, so long I daily vow to use it. Come and lead me to these sorrows.
Thou art doubtless, then, our ship hath touched upon the sea banks of Bohemia?
Aye, fear we've landed in ill time. The sky looks grimly and threatens present blusters. In my conscience, the heavens, with that we have in hand, are angry and frown upon us.
Their sacred wills be done. Go! Get aboard, look to thy ship. I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
Make your best haste. Go not too far in the land. It's like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon it.
Go thou away, I'll follow instantly.
I'm glad it hard to be sober to the business.
Come, poor babe. I have heard, but not believed. The spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was a dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow so filled, and so becoming. In pure white robes, like very sanctity, did she approach my cabin where I lay, thrice bowed before me, and gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, anon did this break from her.
Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, places remote enough are in Bohemia. There weep and leave it crying, and for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I prithee call it. For this ungentle business put on thee by my lord, thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more.
And so with shrieks she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself, and thought this was so, and no slumber. Dreams are toys. Yet this once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, it should here be laid, either for life or death, upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie, and there thy character. There these which may, fortune please, both breed thee pretty, and still rest thine. The storm begins. Poor wretch, that for thy mother's faults art thus exposed to loss and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds. And most accursed am I to be by oath enjoined to this. Farewell. The day frowns more and more. Thou art like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by day. A savage clamor. Well, may I get aboard? Hey! Hey! This is the chase! I am gone forever!
There were no age between 10 and 23, or that the youth would sleep out the rest. For there is nothing in between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancient tree, stealing, fighting.
Down the hill! Down by the way!
Hark you now, would any but these boiled brains of 19 and 22 hunt this weather? They have scared away 2 of my best sheep, which I fear the wolf will find sooner than the master. If anywhere I have them, 'tis by the seaside, browsing of ivy. Good luck, if it be thy will. What have we here? Mercy on us! A babe? A very pretty babe? Boy or a child, I wonder. A pretty one, a very pretty one. Sure some scape. Though I am not bookish, yet I can read waiting gentlewoman in the scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind door work. They were warmer that made this than the poor thing is here. I'll take it up, for pity. Yet I'll tarry till my son come. He hallooed but even now. Whoa-ho-ha!
Hello!
What? Art so near? If thou wilt see a thing to talk on when thou art dead and rotten, come hither! What ailst thou, man?
I have seen two such sights, by sea and by land, but I am not to say it is a sea, for it is now the sky. Betwixt the firmament and it you could not thrust a dagger's point.
Why, boy, how is it?
I would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore, but that's not the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor soul, sometimes to see him, and not to see him. Now the ship piercing the moon with her mainmast, and then for the land service, to see how the bear tore out his shoulder bone, how he cried to me for help and said his name was Antigonus, a nobleman. But to make an end of the ship, to see how the sea flapped dragging it, but first how the poor souls roared, and the sea mocked him, and how the poor gentleman roared, and the bear mocked him, both roaring louder than sea or weather.
Name of mercy, when was this, boy?
And now.
Now?
Now! I have not winked since I saw these sights. The men are not yet cold under water, nor the bear hath dined on the gentleman. He's at it now.
Would I have been by to have helped the old man?
I would you'd been by the ship's side to have helped her. There your charity would have lacked footing.
Heavy matters, heavy matters. But look thee here, boy. Now bless thyself. Thou medst with things dying, I with things new-born. Look thee here, here's a sight for thee, a bearing cloth for a squire's child.
Oh.
Look thee here. Take up, boy. Open it so let's see. It was told me I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling. Open it. What's within, boy?
You maid, old man. If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to live. Gold, all gold.
This is fairy gold, boy, and 'twill prove so. Up with it. Keep it close. Home, the next way. We are lucky, boy, and to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, good boy, the next way home.
Go the next way with your findings. I'll go see if the bear be gone from the gentleman and how much he'th eaten. They are never cursed, but when they're hungry, if there be any left of him, I'll bury it.
That's a good deed. If thou mayest discern by that which is left of him what he is, fetch me to the sight of him.
Marry will I, and you shall help to put him in the ground.
'Tis a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on it.
I, that please some, try all, both joy and terror of good and bad, that makes and unfolds error. Now take upon me, in the name of time, to use my wings.
Impute it not a crime to me or my swift passage, that I slide o'er 16 years, and leave the growth untried of that wide gap, since it is in time's power to o'erthrow law, and in one self-born hour to plant and o'erwhelm custom.
Let me pass the same I am ere ancient order was, or what is now received. I witness to the times that brought them in, so shall I do to the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the glistering of this present, as my tale now seems to it.
Your patience this allowing, I turn my glass and give our scene such growing, as you had slept between.
Leontes leaving the effects of his fond jealousies, so grieving that he shuts up himself. Imagine thus, gentle spectators, that we now may be in fair Bohemia. And remember well, we mentioned a son of the king's, which Florissel we name unto you.
and with speed so pace to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace, equal with wondering.
What of her ensues? I shall not prophesy.
But let time's news be known when 'tis brought forth.
A shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres which follows after is the argument of time.
Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now, if never, yet that time again doth say, I wish that earnestly you never may.
When daffodils began to peer, with hey, the doxy o'er the dale, why then comes in the sweet o' the year, for the red blood reigns in the winter's pale. The white sheet bleaching on the hedge, with hey, the sweet birds, oh how they sing, doth set my pugging tooth on edge. For a quart of ale is a dish for a king. The lark that tearily chaunts, with hay, the thrush and the jay are summer songs for me and my aunts while we lie tumbling in the hay. Woo! I have served Prince Florizel, and in my time wore 3 pile, but now I am out of service. But shall I go mourn for that, my dear? The pale moon shines by night, and when I wander here and there, I then do most go right. My father named me Autolycus, who, being as I am, littered under Mercury, was likewise a snapper-up of unconsidered trifles. With dye and drab, I purchased this comparison, and my revenue is the silly cheat. Gallows and knock are too powerful on the highway. Beating and hanging are terrors to me. For the life to come, I sleep out the thought of it.
Every 11 weather Todds, every
A
Todd.
prize, a prize.
Shilling, 1,500 shorn. What comes the wool to?
If this bridge hold, the cock's mine.
I cannot do without counters. Let me see, what am I to buy for a sheep-shearing feast? 3 pound of sugar, 5 pound of currants. Rice? What will a sister of mine do with rice? But my father hath made her mistress of the feast, and she lays it on. I must have saffron to color the warden pies. Mace, dates? None. That's out of my note. Nutmegs, 7, a race or 2 of ginger, but for that I may beg. 4 pound of prunes, and as many raisins of the sun.
Oh, that ever I was born!
In the name of me.
Oh, help me, pluck off these rags, and then death.
Alack, poor soul, thou hast need of more rags to lay on thee, rather than having these off.
Oh, sir, the loathsomeness of them offend me more than the stripes that I have received, which are mighty ones, and millions.
Alas, poor man, 1,000,000 of beating may come to a great matter.
I am robbed, sir, and beaten, my money and apparel ta'en from me, and these detestable things put upon me.
What by, a horseman or a footman?
A footman, sweet sir, a footman.
Indeed, he should be a footman by the garments he has left with thee. If this be a horseman's coat, it hath seen very hot service. Come, lend me thy hand. I'll help thee. Come, lend me thy hand.
Oh, good sir. Oh, tenderly, oh!
Alas, poor soul.
Oh, good sir, softly. Oh, good sir. I fear, sir, my shoulder blade is out.
How now? Can't stand?
Softly, good sir, softly! You've done me a charitable office.
Dost lack any money? I have a little money for thee.
No! Good Sweet sir, no, I beseech you, sir. I have a kinsman, not past 3/4 of a mile hence, unto whom I was going. I shall there have money, or anything I want. Offer me no money, I pray you. That kills my heart.
What manner of fellow was he that robbed you?
A fellow, sir, I have known to go about with the troll madams. I knew him once a servant of the prince. I cannot tell for which of his virtues it was, but he was certainly whipped out of the court.
His vices, you would say. There's no virtue whipped out of the court.
Vices, I would say, sir. I know this man well. He hath been since an ape-bearer, then a process server, a bailiff. Then he compassed the motion of the prodigal son, and married a tinker's wife a mile within where my land and living lies. And having flown over many knavish professions, he settled only in rogue. Some call him Autolycus.
Out upon him, prig! For my life, prig! He haunts wakes, fairs, and bear baiting.
Very true, sir. He, that's the rogue that put me into this apparel.
How do you now?
Oh, much better than I was. I can stand and walk. I will even take my leave of you and pace softly towards my kinsman's.
Shall I bring thee on the way?
No, good-faced sir. No, sweet sir.
Then fare thee well. I must go buy spices for a sheep shearing.
Ooh, prosper you, sweet sir. Your purse is not hot enough to purchase your spice. I'll be with you at your sheep shearing, too. If I make not this cheat bring out another, and the shearers prove sheep, let me be unrolled, and my name put in the book of virtue. I then do most go right.
I pray thee, good Camillo, be no more importunate. 'Tis a sickness denying thee anything, a death to grant this.
It is 16 years since I saw my country. Though I have for the most part been aired abroad, I desire to lay my bones there. Besides, the penitent king my master hath sent for me, to whose feeling sorrows I might be some allay, or I o'erween to think, so which is another spur to my departure.
As thou lovest me, Camillo, wipe not out the rest of thy services by leaving me now. The need I have of thee thine own goodness hath made. Better not to have had thee than thus to want thee. Of that fatal country, Sicilia, prithee speak no more, whose very naming punishes me with the remembrance of that penitent, as thou callest him, and reconciled king, my dearest friend, whose loss of his most precious queen and children are even now to be afresh lamented. Say to me, when sawest thou the Prince Florizel, my son?
Sir, it is 3 days since I saw the prince. What his happier affairs may be are to me unknown, but I have missingly noted he is of late much retired from court, and is less frequent to his princely exercises than formerly he hath appeared.
I have considered so much, Camillo, and with some care so far that I have eyes under my service which look upon his removedness, from whom I have this intelligence, that he is seldom from the house of a most homely shepherd, a man, they say, that from very nothing and beyond the imagination of his neighbors has grown into an unspeakable estate.
I have heard, sir, of such a man, who hath a daughter of most rare note. The report of her is extended more than can be thought to begin from such a cottage.
That's likewise part of my intelligence, but I fear the angle that plucks my son thither. Thou shalt accompany me to the place, where we will, not appearing what we are, have some question with the shepherd, from whose simplicity I think it not uneasy to gain the cause of my son's resort thither. Prithee, be my present partner in this business, and lay aside the thoughts of Cecilia.
I willingly obey your command.
My best Camillo, we must disguise ourselves.
these your unusual weeds. To each part of you does give a life. No shepherdess, but Flora, peering in April's front. This your sheep shearing is a meeting of the petty gods and you, the queen, on it.
Sir, my gracious lord, to chide at your extremes, it not becomes me. Oh, pardon that I name them. Your high self, the gracious mark over the land you have obscured with a swain's garment. And me, poor lowly maid, most goddess-like pranked up.
Oh, I bless the time when my good falcon made her flight across thy father's ground.
Now Jove afford you cause. To me the difference forges dread, your greatness hath not been used to fear. Even now I tremble to think your father by some way should pass as you did. Oh, the fates how he would look, to see his work so noble, so vilely bound up. What would he say?
Apprehend nothing but jollity. The gods themselves, humbling their deities to love, have taken the shapes of beasts upon them. Jupiter became a bull and bellowed, the green Neptune a ram and bleated, and the fire-robed god golden Apollo, a poor humble swain, as I seem now. Their transformations were never for a piece of beauty rarer, nor in a way so chaste, since my desires run not before mine honor, nor my lusts burn hotter than my faith.
Oh, but sir, your resolution cannot hold when 'tis opposed, as it must be, by the power of the king. One of these two must be necessities, which then will speak that you must change this purpose, or I my life.
Thou dearest Perdita, with these forced thoughts I prithee darken not the mirth of the feast, or I'll be thine, my fair, or not my father's. For I cannot be mine own, nor anything to any if I be not thine. To this I am most constant, though destiny say no. Be merry, gentle, strangle such thoughts as these with anything that you behold the while. Your guests are coming. Lift up your countenance, as it were the day of celebration of that nuptial which we two have sworn shall come.
Oh, Lady Fortune, stand you auspicious.
See, your guests approach. Address yourself to entertain them sprightly, and let's be red with mirth. Fie, daughter! When my old wife lived upon this day, she was both pantler, butler, cook, both dame and servant. Welcomed all, served all, would sing her song and dance her turn. Now here at the upper end of the table, now in the middle, on his shoulder and his, her face on fire with labor. You are retired, as if you were a feasted one and not the hostess of the shearing. Come, pray you, bid these unknown friends 'tis welcome, for it is a way to make us better friends, more known. Come, quench your blushes and present yourself that which you are, mistress of the feast. Come and bid us welcome to your sheep shearing, as your good flock shall prosper.
Sir, welcome. It is my father's will that I should take on me the hostesship of the day. You're welcome, sir. Hand me those flowers there, Dorcas. Reverend sirs, for you, there's rosemary and rue. These keep seeming and savor all the winter long. Grace and remembrance be to you both, and welcome to our shearing.
Shepherdess, a fair one are you. Well, you fit our ages with flowers of winter.
Here's flowers for you. Hot lavender, mints, savory, marjoram, the marigold that goes to bed with the sun and with him rises weeping. These are flowers of Midsummer, and I think they are given to men of middle age. You're very welcome.
I should leave grazing were I of your flock and only live by gazing.
Alas, you'll be so lean that blasts of January would blow you through and through. Now, my fairest friend, I would I had the flowers of the spring that might become your time of day. And yours, that wear upon your virgin branches, yet your maiden heads growing. Oh, these I lack to make you garlands of. And my sweet friend to strew him o'er and o'er.
What, like a corpse?
Like a bank. for love to lie and play on, not like a corpse, or if to be buried, but quick and in mine arms. Come, take your flowers. Oh, methinks I play as I've seen them do in wits and pastorals. Surely this robe of mine does change my disposition.
What you do still betters what is done. When you speak sweet, I'd have you do it ever. When you sing, I'd have you buy and sell so. So give alms, pray so, and for the ordering your affairs to sing them too. When you do dance, I wish you a wave of the sea, that you might ever do nothing but that. Move still so, and oh, no other function. Each your doing so singular in each particular crowns which you are doing in the present deeds, that all your acts are queens.
Oh, my good friend, your praises are too large.
But come, our dance, I pray. Your hand, my Perdita? So turtles pair that never mean to part.
This is the prettiest low-born lass that ever ran on the green grass. Nothing she does or seems but smacks of something greater than herself. Too noble for this place.
He tells her something that makes her blood look out. Good sooth, she is the queen of curds and cream.
Come on, strike up!
Mopsa must be your mistress. Marry garlic to mend her kissing with.
Now, in good time!
Not a word, we stand upon our manners. Come, strike up!
Oh, master, if you did but hear the peddler at the door, you would never dance again after a tabor and pipe. No, the bagpipe could not move you. He sings several tunes faster than you'll tell money. He utters them as he had eaten ballads, and all men's ears grow to his tunes.
He can never come better, he shall come in. I love a ballad, but even too well, if it be doleful matter merrily set down, or a very pleasant thing indeed, and sung lamentably.
He hath songs for man or woman of all sizes. No milliner can so fit his customers with gloves. He hath the prettiest love songs for maids, so without bawdry, which is strange. With such delicate burdens of dildos and fadings, jump her and thump her and where some stretch-mouthed rascal would, as it were, mean mischief and break a foul gap into the matter, he makes the maid to answer, "Whoop, do me no harm, good man," puts him off, slights him with, "Whoop, do me no harm, good man."
This is a brave fellow.
He hath ribbons of all the colors in the rainbow, points more than all the lawyers in Bohemia can learnedly handle, though they come to him by the gross. Inkles, caddises, cambrics, lawns, he sings them over as they were gods or goddesses. You would think a smock were a she-angel. He's so chanced to the sleeve hand and the work about the square on it.
Prithee, bring him in, and let him approach singing.
Forewarn him that he used no scurrilous words in his tunes.
Lawn as white as driven snow, cypress black as air was crow, gloves as sweet as damask roses, masks for faces and for noses, bugle bracelet, necklace, amber perfume for a lady's chamber, golden coifs and stomachers for my lads to give their dears, pins and poking sticks of steel, what maids lack from head to heel. Come buy of me, come buy, come buy. Buy lads or else your lasses cry. Come buy!
If I were not in love with mops, thou shouldst take no money of me, but being enthralled as I am.
I was promised gifts before the feast, but they come not too late now.
He hath promised me more than that, or there be liars.
He hath paid you all he promised you. Maybe he has paid you more, which shall shame you to give him again.
Is there no manners left among mates? 'Tis while they are whispering, clamor your tongues, and not a word more.
I've done.
You promised me a tawdry lace and a pair of sweet gloves.
Have I not told thee how I was cozened by the way and lost all my money?
And indeed, sir, there are cousiners abroad, therefore it behooves men to be wary.
Fear not, thou man, thou shalt lose nothing here.
Oh, I hope so, sir, for I've about me many parcels of charge.
What hast here, ballads?
Oh, I love a ballad in print, for then we are sure they are true.
Here's one, to a very doleful tune. How a usurer's wife was brought to bed of 20 money bags as a burden, and how she longed to eat adders' heads and toads carbonado.
Oh, is it true, think you?
Very true, and but a month old.
Oh, bless me for marrying a usurer.
Here's the midwives' names to it. 1 mistress tail putter and 5 or 6 honest wives that were present. Why should I carry lies abroad?
Oh, pray you now buy it.
Come on, lay it by. And let's first see more ballads. We'll buy the other things in all.
Here's another ballad of a fish that appeared upon the coast on Wednesday, the 80 of April. 40,000 fathom above water, and sung this ballad against the hard hearts of maids. It was thought she was a woman and was turned into a cold fish, for she would not exchange flesh with the one that loved her. The ballad is very pitiful, and as true.
Oh, is it true too, think you?
5 justices' hands at it, and witnesses more than my pack will hold.
Lay it by 2, another.
This is a merry ballad, but a very pretty one.
Oh, let's have some merry ones.
This is a passing merry one, and goes to the tune of 2 maids wooing a man. There's scarce a maid westward, but she sings it. 'Tis in request, I can tell you.
Oh, we can both sing it. If thou bear a part, thou shalt hear 'tis in 3 parts. Get you hence, for I must go.
Where it fits not you to know.
You get over here right now.
So thou goest to the grange or mill.
If to either thou dost ill.
Neither. What? Neither. Neither. What? Neither. Neither. What? Neither. Neither. What? Neither.
Thou hast sworn my love to be.
Thou hast sworn it more to me than whither goest thou? Please say
Whither,
oh whither,
whither,
oh whither,
whither,
oh whither,
whither,
oh whither,
whither,
oh whither.
We'll have the song out anon by ourselves. My father and the gentlemen aren't sat talking. Let's not trouble them. Come, bring away thy pack after me. Wenches, I'll buy for you both. Peddler, let's have the last choice. Follow me, girls.
And you shall pay well for 'em. Will you buy any tape or lace for your cape, my dainty duck, my dear? Any silk, any thread, any toys for your hat of the newest and finest wear? Come to the peddler, money's a meddler that doth utter all men's wear.
Pray, good shepherd, what fair youth is this that dances with your daughter?
Sweet sir, a fair young lad that boasts himself a worthy feeding. But I have it upon his own report, and I believe it. He looks like sooth. He says he loves my daughter. I think so too. For never gazed the moon upon the water as he'll stand and read as 'twere my daughter's eyes. And to be plain, I think there is not half a kiss to choose who loves another best.
She dances trippingly.
So she does anything. Though I report it that should be silent, if this young man do light upon her, she shall bring him that which he not dreams of.
Oh, father, you'll know more of that hereafter. Is it not too far gone? 'Tis time to part them. He's simple and tells much. How now, fair shepherd? Your heart is full of something that does take your mind from dancing. Sooth, when I was young and handed love as you do, I was wont to load my she with knacks. I would have ransacked the peddler's silken treasury and powered it to her acceptance. But you have left and nothing marted with him. If your last interpretation should abuse and call this your lack of love or bounty, why, you'll be straitened for a reply at least if you have a care of happy holding her.
Old sir, I know she prizes not such trifles as these are. The gifts she looks from me are packed and locked up in my heart, which I have given already, but not delivered. Oh, hear me breathe my life before this ancient sir, whom it should seem hath sometime loved. I take thy hand.
What follows this but to your protestation? Let me hear what you profess!
Do, and be witness to it.
And this my neighbor, too.
And he, and more than he, all men, the earth, the heavens, and all, that were I crowned the most imperial monarch thereof most worthy, were I the fairest youth that ever made eye swerve, had force and knowledge more than was ever man's, I would not prize them without her love.
This shows a sound affection.
But my daughter, say you the like to him.
I cannot speak so well. Nothing so well.
Take hands. A bargain. And friends unknown, you shall bear witness to it. I give my daughter to him.
Contract us for these witnesses.
Come, your hand, and daughter yours.
Soft swain, a while beseech you. Have you a father?
I have, but what of him?
Knows he of this?
He neither does nor shall.
Methinks a father is at the nuptial of his son a guest that best becomes the table. Pray you once more, is not your father grown incapable of reasonable affairs? Can he speak? Hear? Knows he man from man? Dispute his own estate? Lies he not bedridden?
No, my good sir, he has his health, and ampler strength indeed than most have of his age.
By my white beard, you offer him, if this be so, a wrong something unfilial. The father should hold counsel in such business.
I yield you this, but for some other reasons, my grave sir, which 'tis not fit you know, I'll not acquaint my father of this business.
Let him know it.
He shall not.
Prithee, let him.
No, he must not.
Let him, my son. He shall not need to grieve at knowing of thy choice.
Come, he must not. Mark our contract.
Mark your divorce, young sir.
Whom son I dare not call. Thou art too base to be acknowledged. Thou a scepter's heir that doth affect a sheep-hook? And thou, old traitor, I am sorry that by hanging thee I can but shorten thy life 1 week. And thou, fresh piece of excellent witchcraft, whom of force must know the royal fool thou copest with.
Oh, my heart.
I'll have thy beauty scratched with briars and made more homely than thy state. For thee, fond boy, if I may ever know thou dost but sigh that thou no more shalt never see this neck, as never I mean thou shalt, will bar thee from succession, not hold thee of our blood, no, not our kin. Mark thou my words, follow us to the court, and you enchantment worthy enough a herdsman, yea, him too that makes himself, but for our honor therein, unworthy thee, if ever henceforth thou these rural latches to his entrance open, or hoop his body more with thy embraces, I will devise a death as cruel to thee as thou art tender to it.
Even here undone. I was not much afeard, for once or twice I was about to speak and tell him plainly the selfsame sun that shines upon his court hides not his visage from our cottage, but looks on alike. Will please you, sir, be gone. I told you what would come of this. Beseech you of your own state to take care. This dream of mine being now awake, I'll queen it no inch farther, but milk my ewes and weep.
How now, father? Speak ere thou diest.
I cannot speak, nor think, nor dare to know that which I know. Oh, sir, you have undone a man of 63 that thought to fill his grave in quiet. Yea, to die upon the bed my father died, to lie close by his honest bones. But now some hangman must put on my shroud and lay me where no priest shovels in dust. Oh, cursed wretch, that knew this was the prince, and wouldst adventure to mingle faith with him. Undone, undone. If I may die within this hour, I have lived to die when I desire.
Why look you so upon me? I am but sorry, not afeard. Delayed, but nothing altered. What I was, I am, more straining on for plucking back, not following my leash unwillingly.
Gracious my lord, you know your father's temper. At this time he will allow no speech, which I do guess you do not purpose to him. And as hardly will he endure your sight as yet, I fear. Then, till the fury of his highness settle, come not before him.
I do not mean to. I think Camillo?
Even he, my lord.
How often have I told you 'twould be thus? How often said my dignity would last but till 'twere known?
It cannot fail but by violation of my faith. And then let nature crush the sides of the earth together and mar the seeds within. Lift up thy looks. From my succession wipe me, father. I am heir to my affection.
Be advised.
I am, and by my fancy, if my reason will thereto be obedient. I have reason. If not, my senses, better pleased with madness, do bid it welcome.
This is desperate, sir.
So call it. But it does fulfill my vow. I needs must think it honesty. Camillo, not for Bohemia, nor the pomp that may be there at glean. For all the sun sees, or the close earth wombs, or the profound seas hides in unknown fathoms, will I break my oath to this my fair beloved. Therefore I pray you, as you have ever been my father's honored friend, when he shall miss me, as in faith I mean not to see him any more, cast your good counsels upon his passion. This you may know, and so deliver. I am put to sea with her, who here I cannot hold on shore, and most opportune to her need. I have a vessel rides fast by. What course I mean to hold shall nothing benefit your knowledge.
Oh, my lord, I would your spirit were easier for advice or stronger for your need.
Hark, Perdita! I'll hear you by and by.
He's irremovable, resolved for flight. Now were I happy, if his going I could frame to serve my turn. Save him from danger, do him love and honor, purchase the sight again of dear Sicilia, and that unhappy king, my master, whom I so much long to see.
Now, good Camillo, I'm so fraught with curious business that I leave out ceremony.
Sir, I think you have heard of my poor services in the love that I have borne your father?
Very nobly have you deserved. It is my father's music to speak your deeds.
Well, good, but yet if you may please to think I love the king, and through him what's dearest to him, which is your gracious self, embrace but my direction. If your more ponderous and settled project may suffer alteration, upon mine honor I'll point you where you shall have such receiving as shall become your highness, where you may enjoy your mistress, from the whom I see there's no disjunction to be made, but by, as heavens forfend, your ruin. Marry her, and with my best endeavors in your absence, your discontenting father, strive to qualify and bring him up to liking.
How, Camillo? May this almost a miracle be done, that I may call thee something more than man, and after that trust to thee.
Have you thought on a place whereto you'll go?
Not any yet.
Then list to me. This follows if you will not change your purpose, but undergo this flight. Make for Sicilia, and there present yourself and your fair princess, for so I see she must be, for Leontes. She shall be habited as it becomes the partner of your bed. Methinks I see Leontes opening his free arms and weeping his welcomes forth. Asks thee, good sir, forgiveness, as 'twere in the father's person. Kisses the hands of your fresh princess. O'er and o'er divides him twixt his unkindness and his kindness.
Worthy Camillo, what reason for my visitation shall I hold up before him?
Sent by the king your father to greet him and to give him comforts.
I am bound to you. My prettiest Perdita, my dear, my sweet. But, oh, the thorns we stand upon. Camillo, preserver of my father, now of me, the medicine of our house. How shall we do? I am not furnished like Bohemia's son, nor shall appear so in Sicilia.
Fear none of this. I think you know my fortunes do all lie there. It shall be so my care to have you royally apparelled there.
But, good my lord, I fear the King Leontes will doubtless come so suddenly, and with no notice from my father, his old friend.
Nay, but my letters, by this means being there so soon as you arrive, shall clear that doubt.
And those that you'll procure from King Leontes?
Shall satisfy your father.
Happy be you that all that you speak shows fair.
Who have we here?
What a fool Honesty is, and trust his sworn brother, a very simple gentleman. And had not the old man come in with a hubbub against his daughter and King Polixenes' son and scared my chuffs from the chaff, I had not left a purse alive in the whole army.
We'll make an instrument of this. Omit nothing may give us aid. How now, good fellow? Why shakest thou so? Fear not, man. Here's no harm intended to thee.
If they have overheard me now, why hanging? I am a poor fellow, sir.
Why, be so still. Here's nobody will steal that from thee. Yet, for the outside of thy poverty, we must make an exchange. Therefore disrobe thee instantly and change garments with this gentleman.
Huh? Are you in earnest, sir?
Unbuckle. Unbuckle. Fortunate mistress, may my prophecy come home to ye. You must retire yourself into some disguise.
I see the place so lies that I must bear a part.
No remedy. Have you done there?
Should I now meet my father, he would not call me son.
Nay, you shall have no hat. Come, lady, come. Farewell, my friend.
Adieu, gentlemen.
Oh, Perdita, what have we twain forgot to pray you a word?
What I do next shall be to tell Polixenes of their escape and whither they are bound, wherein my hope is I shall so prevail to force him follow, in whose company I shall review Sicilia, for whose sight I have a woman's longing.
Fortune speed us. Thus we set on, Camillo, to the seaside.
The swifter speed, the better.
I understand the business. I hear it. To have an open ear, a quick eye, and a nimble hand is necessary for a cut purse. A good nose is requisite also, to smell out work for the other senses. I see that this is the time the unjust man doth thrive. What an exchange hath this been! Without boot, what boot is here with this exchange? Sure the gods do this here connive at us, and we may do anything extempore. The prince himself is about a piece of iniquity, stealing away from his father with his clog at his heels. If I thought it were a piece of honesty to acquaint the king withal, I would not do it. I hold it the more knavery to conceal it, and therein am I constant to my profession. Aside, here is more matter for a hot brain.
See what a man you are now. There is no other way but to tell the king she's a changeling and none of your flesh and blood.
Nay, but hear me.
Nay, but hear me.
Go to, then.
She being none of your flesh and blood has not offended the king, and so your flesh and blood is not to be punished by him. Show those things you found about her, those secret things, all but she is with her.
I will tell the king all. Every word, yea, and of his son's pranks, too, who, I may say, is no honest man, neither to his father nor to me, to go about to make me the king's brother-in-law?
Very wisely, puppies.
Well, let us to the king.
Hardly he be at palace.
Though I am not naturally honest, I am so sometimes by chance. Let me pocket up my peddler's excrement. How now, rustics, whither are you bound?
To the palace, and it like your worship.
Your affairs there? What? With whom? The condition of that fardel, the place of your dwelling, your names, your ages, of what having, breeding, and anything that is fitting to be known. Discover.
We're but plain fellows, sir.
A lie! You are but rough and hairy. Let me have no lying.
Are you a courtier, and it please you, sir?
Whether it please me or no, I am a courtier. Seest thou not the air of the court in these enfoldings? Hath not my gait in it the measure of the court? Receives not thy nose court odor from me? Reflect I not on thy baseness, court contempt? Thinkest thou, for that I insinuate and toast from thee thy business, I am therefore no courtier? I am courtier cap et pay, and one that will either push on or pluck back thy business there, whereupon I command thee to open thy affair.
My business, sir, is to the king.
What advocate hast thou to him?
I know not, if it please you.
Advocate's the court word for pheasant. Say you have none.
None, sir. I have no pheasant. Cock nor hen.
How blessed are we that are not simple men. Yet nature might have made me as these are, therefore I will not disdain.
This cannot be but a great courtier.
His garments are rich, but he wears them not handsomely.
He seems more noble in being fantastical. A great man, I'll warrant. I know by the picking of his teeth.
That's that fardel there. What's in the fardel? Wherefore that box?
Sir, there lie such secrets in this fardel and box, which none must know but the king, and which he shall know within the hour, if I may come to the speech of him.
Oh, wait, thou hast lost thy labor.
Why, sir?
The king is not at the palace. He has gone aboard a new ship to purge melancholy and air himself. For if thou beest capable of things serious, thou must know the king is full of grief.
So 'tis said, sir, about his son, that should have married a shepherd's daughter.
If that shepherd be not in hand fast, let him fly. The curses he shall have, the tortures he shall feel, will break the back of man, the heart of monster.
Think you so, sir?
Not he alone shall suffer what wit can make heavy and vengeance bitter, but those that are germane to him, though removed 50 times, shall all come under the hangman, which, though it be great pity, yet it is necessary. An old sheep-whistling rogue, a ram-tender, to offer to have his daughter come into grace? Some say he shall be stoned. That death is too soft for him, say I. Draw our throne into a sheep-house. All deaths are too few, the sharpest too easy.
Has the old man and her son, sir, do you hear? And please you, sir.
He has a son who shall be flayed alive, anointed over with honey, set on the head of a wasp's nest, then stand till he be 3/4 and a dram dead. Then recovered again with aqua vitae or some other hot infusion. Then Raw as he is, on the hottest day prognostication proclaims, shall he be set against a brick wall, the sun looking with a southward eye upon him, whereas he is to behold him with flies blown to death! But what talk we of these traitorly rascals, whose miseries are to be smiled at, their offences being so capital? Tell me, for you seem to be honest, plain men, what affairs you have to the king. Being something gently considered, I'll bring you where he is aboard. Tender your persons to his presence, whisper to him on your behalfs, and if it be in man near the king to effect your suits, here is man shall do it.
He seems to be of great authority. Close with him, give him gold to show the inside of your purse to the outside of his hand, and no more ado. Remember stoned and flayed alive.
Sir, to undertake the business for us, here is the gold that I have.
After I have done what I have promised?
Aye, sir.
Well, give me the moiety. Are you a party in this business, sir?
In some sort, sir, but though my case be a pitiful one, I hope I shall not be flayed out of it.
Oh, that's the case of the shepherd's son. Hang him. He'll be made an example.
Comfort, good comfort. We must to the king and show our strange sights. He must know 'tis none of your daughter nor my sister. We are gone, Alice. Sir, I will give you as much as this old man does when the business is performed.
I will trust you. Walk before the seaside, go on the right hand. I'll but look upon this hedge and follow after.
We are blessed in this man, as I may say, even blessed.
Let's before. As he bids us, he was provided to do us good.
If I had a mind to be honest, I see fortune would not suffer me. She drops booties in my mouth. I am courted now with a double occasion, gold and a means to do Prince Florizel, my master, good, which who knows how that may turn back to my advancement. I will bring these two moles, these blind ones, where he is aboard. If he think it fit to shore them again, and that their complaints to the king concern him nothing, let him call me rogue. To him will I present them. There may be matter in it.
Performed a saint-like sorrow. No fault could you make which you have not redeemed. Indeed, paid down more penitence than done trespass. At the last, do as the heavens have done. Forget your evil. With them, forgive yourself.
Whilst I remember her and her sorrows, I cannot forget my blemishes in them, and so still think of the wrong I did myself, which was so much that heirless it hath made my kingdom, and destroyed the sweet's companion that ere man bred his hopes out of. True?
Too true, my lord. If one by one you wedded all the world, or from all that are, took something good to make a perfect woman, she you killed would be unparalleled.
I think so. Killed. She I killed. I did so, but thou strikest me sorely to say I did. 'Tis as bitter upon thy tongue as in my thought. Now, good now, say so but seldom.
Not at all, good lady. You might have spoken 1,000 things that would have done the time more benefit and graced your kindness better.
You are one of those would have him wed again.
If you would not so, you pity not the state, nor the remembrance of his most sovereign name. Consider little what dangers by his highness fail of issue may drop upon his kingdom, and devour in certain lookers on. What were more holy than to rejoice the former queen as well? What holier than for royalty's repair, for present comfort and for future good, to bless the bed of majesty again with a sweet fellow to it.
There is none worthy respecting her that's gone. Besides, the gods will have fulfilled their secret purposes. For hath not the divine Apollo said? Is it not the tenor of his oracle that King Leontes shall not have an heir till his lost child be found? Which that it shall, is all as monstrous to our human reason as my Antigonus to break his grave and come to me again, who, so it seems, did perish with the infant. 'Tis your counsel, my lord, should to the heavens be contrary, oppose against their wills. Care not for issue, the crown will find an heir.
Good Paulina, that hast the memory of Hermione, I know in honor. Oh, that ever I had squared me to thy counsel, then, even now I might have looked upon my queen's full eyes, have taken treasure from her lips.
And left them more rich for what they yielded.
Thou speakst truth. No more such wives, therefore no wife. One worse, and better used, would make her sainted spirit again possess her corpse, and on this stage where we offenders now appear, soul vexed, and begin, why to me?
Had she such power, she had just such cause.
She had stars, and all eyes else, dead coals. Fear thou no wife, I'll have no wife. Paulina.
Will you swear never to marry, but by my free leave?
Never, Paulina, so be blessed my spirit.
Then good. My lords, bear witness to his oath.
You tempt him overmuch.
Unless another, as like Hermione, as is her picture, affront his eye.
Good madam.
I have done. Yet, if my lord will marry, if you will, my lord, no remedy but you will, give me the office to choose you a queen.
My good Paulina, I shall not marry till thou bidst me.
That shall be when you're first queens again in breath. Never till then.
My lord, one that gives out himself Prince Florizel, son of Polixenes, with his princess, she the fairest I have yet beheld, desires access to your high presence.
What with him? He comes not like to his father's greatness. His approach, so out of circumstance and sudden, tells us 'tis not a visitation framed, but forced by need or accident. What train?
But few, and those but mean.
His princess, say you, with him?
Aye, the most peerless piece of earth, I think, that ere the sun shone bright on. This is a creature, would she begin a sect, might quench the zeal of all professors else, make proselytes of who she but bid follow.
Go, Cleomenes, yourself, assisted by our honored friends, bring them to our embracement. Still 'tis strange they thus should steal upon us.
Had Mamilius, jewel of children, seen this hour, he had paired well with this lord. There was not a full month between their births.
Pretty, no more. Cease, thou know'st he dies to me again when talked of. Sure, when I shall see this gentleman, thy speeches will bring me to consider that which may unfurnish me of reason. They are come.
My liege.
Your mother was most true to wedlock, prince, for she did print your royal father off, conceiving you. Were I but 21, your father's image is so hid in you, his very heir, that I should call you brother as I did him, and speak of something wildly by us performed before. Most dearly welcome, and your fair princess goddess, oh. Alas, I lost a couple that twixt heaven and earth might thus have stood, begetting wonder as you, gracious couple, do. And then I lost all mine own folly, the society, amity too of your brave father, whom, though bearing misery, I desire my life once more to look on him.
By his command have I here touched Cecilia, and from him give you all greetings, that a king as friend can send his brother. And but infirmity which waits upon worn times hath something seized his wished ability. He had himself the lands and waters twixt your throne and his measured, to look upon you, whom he loves. He bade me say so, more than all the scepters and those that bear them living.
Oh, my brother, the wrongs I have done thee stir afresh within me, And these thy offices, so rarely kind, are as interpreters of my behindhand slackness. The blessed gods purge all infection from our air whilst you do climate here. You have a holy father, a graceful gentleman, against whose person, so sacred as it is, I have done sin, for which the heavens, taking angry note, have left me issueless, and your father's blessed, as he from heaven merited with you. Worthy his goodness, what might I have been? Might I, a son and daughter, now have looked on such goodly things as you?
Most noble sir, that which I shall report will bear no credit were not the proof so nigh. Please you, great Sir Polixenes greets you by me, desires you to arrest his son, who has his dignity and duty both cast off, fled from his father, from his hopes, and with a shepherd's daughter.
Where's Polixenes? Speak.
Here, in your city, I now came from him. I speak amazedly, and it becomes my marvel and my message. To your court whilst he was hasting, in the chaste sims of this fair couple, meets he on the way the father of this seeming lady and her brother, having both their country quitted with this young prince.
Camillo has betrayed me, whose honor and whose honesty till now endured all weathers.
Lay it so to his charge, he's with the king, your father.
Oh, Camillo?
Camillo! I spake with him, who now has these poor men in question. Never saw I wretches so quake. They kneel, they kiss the earth, forswear themselves as often as they speak. Polixenes stops his ears and threatens them with diverse deaths and death.
Oh, my poor father. The heavens set spies upon us, will not have our contract celebrated.
You are married.
We are not, sir, nor are we like to be. The stars I see will kiss the valleys first.
My lord, is this the daughter of a king?
She is, when once she is my wife.
That once, I see, by your good father's speed, will come on very slowly. I am sorry, most sorry, you have broken from his liking where you were tied in duty, and as sorry, your choice is not so rich in birth as beauty that you might well be married. And now in truth, fair maid, I look upon your face and do behold the selfsame portrait of Hermione, the very font made flesh. But your petition is yet unanswered. I will to your father. Your honor not o'erthrown by your desires, I am friend to them and you, upon which errand I now go toward him. Therefore, follow me.
The news is nothing but bonfires. The oracle is fulfilled. Leontes' daughter is found. Such a deal of wonder is broken out within this hour that ballad makers cannot begin to express it.
Did you see the meeting of the two kings? No? Then you have lost a sight which was to be seen, cannot be spoken of. There might you have seen one joy crown another, so and in such a manner that it seemed sorrow wept to take leave of them, for their joy waded in tears.
There was casting up of eyes, holding up of hands, with countenance of such distraction.
The king has found his heir.
The shepherd says he found the child.
The changes in the kings, the children and Camillo are very notes of admiration.
They seemed almost, with staring on one another, to tear the cases of their eyes. There was speech in their dumbness, language in their very gesture. They looked as they had heard of a world ransomed, or one destroyed.
A notable passion of wonder appeared in them.
Even the wisest beholder that knew no more but seeing could not say if the expression were joy or sorrow.
This news, which is called true, is so like an old tale that the verity of it may be in strong suspicion.
But that which you hear, you'll swear you see. There is such unity in the proofs.
The mantle of Queen Hermione's,
her jewel about the neck of it,
the letters of Antigonus found with it,
the majesty of young Perdita in resemblance of the mother,
and many other evidences proclaim her with all certainty to be the king's daughter.
Leontes being ready to leap out of himself for joy of his found daughter, as if that joy were now become a loss, cries, "O thy mother, thy mother."
Then asks Polixenes forgiveness.
And embraces his son-in-law.
Then again worries he his daughter with embracing her.
Then he thanks the old shepherd who stands by like a weather-bitten conduit of many kings' reigns.
But what pray you, became of Antigonus that carried hence the child?
Like an old tale still, which will have matter to rehearse, though credit be asleep, not an ear open.
He was torn to pieces by a bear.
Indeed. And this avouches the shepherd's son, who has not only his innocence, which seems much, to justify him, but a handkerchief and rings of Antigonus that Paulina knows.
What became of Antigonus's ship and his followers?
Racked in the same instant of their master's death, and in the view of the shepherd, so that all the instruments which aided to expose the child were even then lost as she was found.
But oh, the noble combat that twixt joy and sorrow was fought in Paulina. She had one eye declined for the loss of her husband, another elevated, that the oracle was fulfilled.
She lifted the Princess Perdita from the earth, and so locks her in embracing, as if she would pin her to her heart, that she might no more be in danger of losing.
One of the prettiest touches of all was when, at the relation of the Queen Hermione's death,
with the manner how she came to it gravely confessed and lamented by Leontes.
How attentiveness wounded his daughter, till from one sign of dolour to another, she did, with an alas, I would fain say, bleed tears. For I am sure my heart wept blood. You have seen sunshine and rain at once? Her smiles and tears were like a better way. Those happy smilets that played on her right lip seemed not to know what guests were in her eyes, which parted thence as pearls from diamonds dropped. In brief, sorrow would be a rarity most beloved, if all could so become it.
Who was most marble, their changed color. Some swooned, all wept. If all the world could have seen it, the woe had been universal.
By and by, the princess learns then of her mother's statue,
which newly made stands veiled in good Paulina's keeping.
A piece many years in the making.
'Tis so near to Hermione's form 'tis said that one might speak to it and stand in hope of an answer. Thither, with all greediness of affection, are they gone.
'Tis known Paulina had some great matter there in hand, for she hath privately, twice or thrice a day, ever since the death of Hermione, visited that removed house.
Would you thither, and in the company of time, see the rejoicing?
Who would be thence that has the benefit of access? Every wink of an eye, some new grace will be born. Let's along.
Sheep bleaching on the hedge, with hey the sweet birds, oh how they sing.
Oh, here come those I have done good to against my will, and already appearing in the blossoms of their fortune.
Come, boy, I am past more children, but thy sons and daughters will be gentlemen born.
You are well met, sir. You denied to fight with me the other day because I was no gentleman born. See you these clothes? Say you see them not, and think me still no gentleman born. You were best say these robes are not gentleman born. Give me the lie. Do, and try whether I am not now a gentleman born.
I know you are now, sir, a gentleman born.
I and have been so any time these 4 hours.
And so have I, boy.
So you have. But I was a gentleman born before my father, for the king's son took me by the hand and called me brother. And then the 2 kings called my father brother. And then the prince, my brother, and the princess, my sister, called my father father. And so we wept. And there, the first gentleman-like tears that ever we shed.
We may live, son, to shed many more.
Die, or else 'twere hard luck, being in so preposterous a state as we are.
I humbly beseech you, sir, to pardon me all the faults I have committed to your worship, and to give your good report to Prince Florizel, my master.
Prithee, son, do, for we must be gentle. Now we are gentlemen.
Thou wilt amend thy life.
Aye, and it like your good worship.
Give me thy hand. I'll swear to the prince, thou art as honest a true fellow as any is in Bohemia.
You may say it, but not swear it.
Not swear it? Now I am a gentleman. Let boors and franklins say it. I'll swear it.
But what if it be false, son?
If it be ne'er so false, A true gentleman may swear it on the behalf of his friend. And I'll swear to the prince, thou art a tall fellow of thy hands, and that thou wilt not be drunk. But I know thou art no tall fellow of thy hands, and that thou wilt be drunk, but I'll swear it. Would thou wouldst be a tall fellow of thy hands?
I will prove so, friend. To my power.
I by any means prove a tall fellow. If I do not wonder how thou darest venture to be drunk, not being a tall fellow, trust me not. Hark, the kings and princes, our kindred, are going to see the Queen Hermione statue. Come, follow us. We'll be thy good masters.
Grave and good Paulina, the great comfort that I have had of thee.
What, sovereign sir, I did not well, I meant well.
Oh, Paulina, we honor you with trouble, but we came to see the statue of our queen. Your gallery have we passed through, not without much content and many singularities, but we saw not that which my daughter came to look on, the statue of her mother.
As she lived peerless, so her dead likeness, I do well believe, excels whatever yet you looked upon, or hand of man hath done. Therefore, I keep it lonely, apart. But here it is. Prepare to see life as lively mocked, as ever still sleep mocked death. Behold, and say 'tis well. I like your silence. It the more shows off your wonder. But yet speak. First you, my liege. Comes it not something near?
Her natural posture. Chide me, dear stone, that I may say, indeed, thou art Hermione. Or rather, thou art she, and I not chiding, for she was as tender as infancy and grace. But yet, Paulina, Hermione was nothing so aged as this seems.
So much more our carver's excellence, who lets go by some 16 years, and makes her as she lived now.
As now she might have done, so much to my good comfort as it is now piercing to my soul. Oh, thus she stood, even with such life of majesty, warm life, as now it coldly stands when first I wooed her. I am ashamed. Does not the stone rebuke me for being more stone than it? O royal peace, there's magic in thy majesty, which has my evils conjured to remembrance, and from thy admiring daughter took her spirit, standing like stone with thee.
And give me leave, and do not say 'tis superstition that I kneel and implore her blessing. Oh, lady, dear queen that ended when I but began, give me that hand of yours to kiss.
Oh, patience! The statue is but newly fixed. The color's not dry.
My lord, your sorrow was too sore laid on, which 16 winters cannot blow away, so many summers dry.
Dear my brother, let him that was the cause of this have power to take up so much grief from you as he may piece up in himself.
Indeed, my lord, if I had thought the sight of this poor image would thus have wrought you, I'd not have shown it.
Do not draw the curtain.
No longer shall you gaze on it, lest your fancy may think anon it moves.
Let be, let be. Would I were dead, but that methinks already was he that did make it. See, would you not deem it breathed, and that those veins did verily bear blood?
'Tis masterly done. The very life seems warm upon her lip.
The fixer of her eye has motion in it as we are mocked with art.
I'll draw the curtain. My lord's almost so far transported, he'll think anon it lives.
Oh, sweet Paulina, make me to think so 20 years together. No settled senses of the world can match the pleasure of that madness, let alone.
I am sorry, sir, I have thus far stirred you, but I could afflict you farther.
Do, Paulina, for this affliction has a taste as sweet as any cordial comfort. Still, methinks there is an air comes from her. What fine chisel could ever yet cut breath? Let no man mock me, for I will kiss her.
Good, my lord, forbear. The ruddiness on her lip is wet. You'll mar it if you kiss it. Stain your own with oily painting. Shall I draw the curtain?
No, not these 20 years.
So long could I stand by, a looker-on.
Either forbear, quit presently the chapel, or resolve you for more amazement. If you can behold it, I'll make the statue move indeed, descend, and take you by the hand.
What you can make her do, I am content to look on. What to speak, I am content to hear. For 'tis as easy to make her speak as move.
It is required you do awake your faith. Then, all stand still.
Proceed. No foot shall stir.
Music, awake her. Strike. 'Tis time. Descend. Be stone no more. Approach. Strike all that look upon with marvel. Come. I'll fill your grave up. Stir, nay, come away. Bequeath to death your numbness, for from him dear life redeems you. You perceive she stirs. Start not. Her actions shall be holy, as you hear my spell is lawful. Do not shun her until you see her die again, for then you kill her double. Nay, present your hand. When she was young, you wooed her. Now, in age, is she become the suitor?
Oh, she's warm.
She embraces him.
She hangs about his neck. If she pertain to life, let her speak too.
Aye, and make manifest how she hath lived, and how stolen from the dead.
That she is living, were it but told you, should be hooted at like an old tale. But it appears she lives, though yet she speak not. Mark a little while. Please you to interpose, fair madam, kneel, and pray your mother's blessing. Turn, good lady, our Perdita is found.
You, gods, look down, and from your sacred vials pour your graces upon my daughter's head. Tell me, mine own, where hast thou been preserved? Where lived how found thy father's court? For thou shalt hear that I, knowing by Paulina that the oracle gave hope thou wast in being, did preserve myself to see thee once again, dear child.
There's time enough for that. Go together, you precious winners all. Your exaltation partake to everyone. I, an old turtle, will wade me to some withered bank, and there my mate, that's never to be found again, lament till I am lost.
Nay, leave us not to bear these joys alone. Come, Camillo, and take her by the hand, whose worth and honesty is richly noted. Let's from this place. Good Paulina, lead us from hence.
In The Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare, Lucas Bueling played jailer, bohemian servant, and officer, Vivian Chaffin, Autolycus, Louisa Darr, Perdita, Keena Dietz, Hermione, Pip Edmund, Clown, Maeve Filkins played the shepherd, Gray Jensen, Florizel, Anya Johnson, Dion and Mariner, Mira Iwaszek played Amelia, Dorcas, and Time, Louise Kelly, Antigonus, Ilse Prokosch, Lady, Mopsa, and Time, Abraham Riker, Leontes, Søren Staffaucher, Mamilius, and Cleomenes. Tick Treitler played Time and Sicilian Servant, Christopher Tupper, Ruggiero, Ashlyn Walters, Camillo, Blake Walters, Polixenes, and Caitlin Warshaw, Paulina. The Winter's Tale was produced by Shakespearean Youth Theatre under the artistic direction of Logan Verdorn. Sound design and original music by Dan Dukic. Web design by Josh Dudley. Stage management by Gabriel Peñalosa Hernandez. Dramaturgy and text adaptations by Lucas Brazier-Fons. Vocal coaching by Robert Ragunanen. Dream Project video editing by Jeremy Wilker. Special thanks to Kevin Springer, Jake Otto, Robert Ragunanen, and Jeremy Wilker. The Winter's Tale was adapted and directed by Logan Verdorn. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through grants from the Minnesota State Arts Board and the Metropolitan Regional Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Time's glory is to calm contending kings, to unmask falsehood and bring truth to light, to stamp the seal of time in aged things, to wake the morn and sentinel the night, to wrong the wronger till he render right, to ruinate proud buildings with thy hours, and smear with dust their glittering golden towers.
To fill with wormholes stately monuments, to feed oblivion with decay of things, to blot old books and alter their contents, to pluck the quills from ancient ravens' wings, to dry the old oak's sap and cherish springs, to spoil antiquities of hammered steel, and turn the giddy round of fortune's wheel.
To show the beldame daughters of her daughter, to make the child a man, the man a child, to slay the tiger that doth live by slaughter, to tame the elephant and lion wild, to mock the subtle in themselves beguiled, to cheer the plowman with increaseful crops, and waste huge stones with little water drops.